Woza. How you all doing? What's popping? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of Straight from the Source. My name is Lucy Riley.
My name is Robbie Omondi.
My name is Busara Naman.
And my name is Winnie Lubembe.
Unaona nyimbo za South Africa, nyimbo za ikifika ile wakati wa kudance sasa ukiambiwa woza unaenda unaongeza energy woza.
And you know how we like to say, yeah?
Yes.
Straight from the source.
It's definitely saucy.
Nice.
More
So happy that you guys joined us for another episode. Thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and also like, follow, share, leave your comments and interact with us because we're so interactive with you and want to know what your views and ideas and opinions are about the episodes we do. So on today's episode, we are talking about, oh my God, money.
Her favorite topic.
Money. Lucy likes money, but I'm like, who doesn't?
Like
I know,
Who does not love money?
Yes.
It's so important and imperative that we talk about it because we as journalists, first and foremost, one thing is clear, right? There's a perception about
There's
how
the reality.
we should be living, doing our things, the income that we make, the cars we drive, the places we live, the lifestyle we should have.
The
And then
air
there's
you breathe.
the air you breathe, premium air, and then
the ground.
kuna kwa ground vitu ziko different kwa ground. Lakini is it that much different ama it's because different is different for different people. Because you might be having problems but at the end of the day compared to someone else who is in a different place they are saying I wish I had your problems. Right? So
Choose your
Choose your heart. There's someone
choose your heart.
Right? There's someone I wish I had their problems. Let me tell you.
I know,
Manze, I want to hear about who that person is. Yes, but even as we begin on that specific topic, let's start here, the economy, I think not just in Kenya, everywhere around the world. There will always be complaints about how, the economy is heavy, it's, that we're bearing the brunt. You know how we write these scripts and everything?
Kenyans are bearing the brunt.
Yes, Kenyans are bearing the brunt on how impunitive taxes.
We're supposed to dig deeper.
Remind me.
So then, let's begin there. Like, the reality, the matter of the fact is, I think, that's my opinion, that it's important to have multiple streams of income to be able to cushion yourself during difficult times and also when the times are not so difficult. And we've all been through difficult times. At the previous episode we talked about, our rock bottom. But of course, there were those times during that rock bottom, you need to survive. There's food to eat, bills to pay, Wi-Fi tokens, sijui chakula, nini, school fees,
responsibilities.
Responsibilities.
And there's an image to uphold.
There's an image. Let's not forget the image. Because how dare you?
Appear on screen.
Uweze sema I'm not coming to work because I don't have fare.
Never. Fair wear.
And you have to
find your way.
And you can't work from
Full
home.
makeup, high heels. Never. How? So let's begin there.
Oh my gosh.
So what do you ladies think about how you should be managing your finances, what it is that you have already been doing that's been working for you, because there are things that you're doing right. Okay, we always talk about we didn't do this. Like for example, athletes make a lot of money, especially very successful athletes. They make millions and millions of sometimes dollars. And then you find that after they stop their career, their life changes drastically. And abruptly. So now, since we are still in the profession and we are working every other day, what are you doing to make sure that during the times when you will not be working, you'll be able to still at least sustain that life? You will maintain and you will not suddenly move into, let's say, I don't want to say a single room or anything.
You have to downgrade.
But also there are those stories out there where we've seen professionals in our space. It's extremely bad and we've been called together to sort of mobilize funds and resources to help this person to be able to help them. But now if we could correct that, rectify it, nip it at the bud. What is it that we can do or we are already doing?
Can we start with like perceptions first of all? Because I think a lot of people have different perceptions, definitely. As far as journalism as a field in itself, remember was it the second or the third episode where we said what we thought? But that's what we got, for ground. And perception number one is all journalists are rich. And that is why you'd find people look at Lucy and be like, first of all, where are international tuanzia hapo, okay? Why are you living in this neighborhood? Why aren't you, driving this car? You buy that car, they tell you, no, you should actually be driving this car. So there's a lot of perception that I feel sometimes pushes journalists into lifestyles that they cannot sustain. And that is why you find most people that will take heavy loans, not because they want to develop, like have some sort of like development happening, but just because watu wasione naishi in certain neighborhood, I drive this car, or maybe I do not drive, I need to drive, and all those things. So I think for me, perception is what's inatu-maliza sisi as journalists. Like, people don't see journalists, and especially if you are an on-air talent, people don't see you as human. They see you come as nani. Yeah, and that is why they drive people into lifestyles that they definitely cannot sustain. So I'm saying, listen, people out there, we're people like you. It's just that we happened to be exposed. So ukituona in your neighborhood, don't ask, ai, kwani hata nyinyi mnaishi huku? Apana, we're trying to sustain ourselves.
If you ask me that kind of question, nitakuuliza tu unataka niishi wapi? Then you take me there.
See, they assume your employer anakulipa vizuri when it's stingy na pesa yako.
It is my money.
Lucy, ulikuwa umezungumzia swala zima la unafanyaje ndio uweze kukopa. Kwa mfano kama hivi sasa, yani mimi kama mwanahabari inabidi ujifundishe kuishi within your means. Yani maana unajua kuna marafiki wengi ambao tunawaona unapata mshahara ni huu wenyewe shilingi 2 ama tuseme kwa mfano mshahara ni shilingi 5 alafu wewe unaenda kwa nyumba ya shilingi 3 ubaki wewe na 2, haujalipa stima, haujajekea fare, hujalipa maji, hujanunua chakula, alafu basi mbao uwe na mtoto. Alafu basi mbao uwe single mother. Kitakuramba. So inabidi kama sisi ambao tuko katika hii sekta ama hata sekta zingine tofauti, ni vizuri uishi kulingana na uwezo wako kwanza. Na ule wakati utakapofanikiwa sasa ndio uhamie yale maisha ya juu kidogo. Kwa hivyo mshahara wako ukiupata, upange vizuri kiasi cha kuwa unajua kwamba nikihamia mahali kama hapa lakini unajua mara nyingine inahuzunisha Winnie, maana yake msomaji mzima wa taarifa za habari lakini unaishi katika mtaa wa mabanda.
Jamani. If you say it like that, I feel like now it gives you give yourself pressure.
No, Robin,
to
it's not
some
pressure.
level.
You know what it is? Because number one, there's a way people see you, okay? And then so you sort of like have to ficha aibu kidogo, okay? In a sense that, yes, I know this is how much I get, but how much will you allow yourself to go low, quote unquote, just because, but it's me, it's my money, and people should understand. People don't understand that. People know Robbie is paid a lot of money. So sasa zingine kuficha hiyo aibu kidogo, like unajikaza tu kidogo.
I disagree. I highly disagree. Because I don't know, either I read it somewhere or someone was speaking about how if you're earning a certain amount of money, let's say I'm earning 50,000 Kenya shillings, that 50,000 Kenya shillings, the reality is you are able to find a house. I think we need to get an expert to explain to us. Apparently, if you're earning 50,000 Kenya shillings, your rent is not supposed to be, I think, more than 40% of that rent.
Now, in this economy, calculate that. Utapata wapi nyumba hiyo nini?
You will find it hata kama it is okay. That's why I'm saying it is okay
within your means.
Because hata kama ni hiyo nyumba ya whatever it is, especially if you understand the dynamics of the economy and your life and why you are where you are at that particular point. Because at this point we're talking about how do we manage. Because again, if you don't manage, that's how you end up seeing people going into depression, into such unnecessary loans, which we'll also talk about. Loans also cushion one way or another. It's one way of financial whatever, which we'll also tackle. But if you know this is what I earn, calculate yourself and understand how can I expound this 50,000 of mine, pay my rent, invest. You can invest, yes. I'm saying you can invest with whatever amount of money that you're earning to be able to propel you to another level that you'll move. And don't be in a rush to move. Just because I was earning 30,000, I've gotten a job that pays me 50,000. I have to. Nahama, don't be in a rush. You know, take your time.
You understand? Hello.
Early in the morning.
I am out. Unaleta movers haraka. So one way, Lucy, as per your question, to me, take time. Don't immediately you get a job, whatever money you're being paid. Don't be in a rush to change lifestyles before figuring it out.
Mtajua aje niko na do. Mtajua aje nimeongezewa 20.
Nimeongezewa kidogo. So even as we talk about this, I'm going to throw out a question before we get back into the topic. This question is, assuming today you got, and I want to just understand your mindsets also. Where is your different heads at, your mindsets? If you had 1 million Kenyan shillings, not so much money, very reasonable, very affordable. If you had 1 million shillings, what are you actually doing with that money? So that we see, does your, what are your priorities in terms of lifestyle, in terms of, priorities? What is it that you're planning first? Because then that gives an idea of if that income is coming into your life, no wonder this is what people are expecting from you and what you yourself expect of yourself. And it's okay. Because if you have 1 million bob coming in every month, is there, a certain lifestyle that you want to sustain? Are you planning, for example, to take vacations every 2 or 3 months?
Girl, I've been Dubai.
What is it that you're doing? If you were earning 1 million shillings every month, I want to know what is it that you're doing with that kind of money so that we can also teach other people what they should be doing with that kind of money. I'm not saying that maybe that's what we're earning, or I'm not saying that that's all we are earning. Could be more.
Let me see. So 1 million.
Hallelujah.
Could be more.
Yes.
So if I have 1 million
every single month net income, because the truth of the matter is, in journalism, in media, there are people who are earning that kind of money.
They are. Yes.
There are 7 figures. We call that 7 figures and above. Then there's 6 figures, middle, lower, upper brackets, and then there's below that. So either way, wherever you are, what is it that you can see that this is the right thing to do? Because we are telling people this is how money should be dealt with. Because if you respect money, money will respect you. But if you use it anyhow,
it will use you.
What do you expect?
So for me, let me say, if I'm earning 1 million, amen, 2025.
Amen.
So basically, and more. Number one, I believe before I'm earning 1 million Kenya shillings, there's a particular life that I have. Now, if we're talking about progression in life and moving to a direction that is pro-saving, pro-money, pro-lifestyle, good lifestyle, first I will invest. Keep investing a good percentage of that money in a way that if that job goes away today, my life will not change. In fact, I'll make sure I've invested in a place where I'm earning more than what that job is paying me. If you can invest your money to be able to give back more than what you're investing, then you're doing great.
Okay.
You can't sit comfortably and say, imagine, this is, okay, I know this will attract questions, or Lucy and Winnie are going to laugh. There is no way I'm going to earn 1 million. And after, let's say I've started earning 1 million in January, and I still be living in a rental 3 months down the line. I will not change my life immediately.
Okay.
But I believe with that money, I can be able to have a house of my own without having to pay rent.
100%.
After a good period of time, depending with the dynamics of how my life is and where my priorities lie. Why should I pay rent?
Because you can access things like mortgage. You can access financial institutions, loans, and you can pay for a beautiful house somewhere. I like that. So what are your thoughts as well, even as we think about now, how do you cushion yourself with whatever it is that is available?
Okay. I'm a strong believer in, first of all, rewarding yourself. Okay. So, because you work every single day, you wake up very early in the morning to go to work and all those things. So most people, what we do is, so sisalo imeingia, rent lazima nilipe number one, like take care of other things, and we forget ourselves. So for me, and this is something that I learned actually from a finance coach, and they said, pay yourself first.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be too much. It doesn't have to be half of this money is mine. No, but pay yourself, like set aside a percentage of that money to sort of like quote unquote reward yourself, but essentially you're paying yourself for the hard work you know that you've been doing. Number 2, I am a strong believer in enjoying the process of becoming.
Yes.
Okay. So in as much as a lot of people are saying invest, what exactly are you investing in? Okay. So first of all, do proper research in terms of what you're investing in, but also enjoy the process of becoming, enjoy the process of growing, and enjoy that process. So usijifinyilie sana, you forget that, you know what, tomorrow is never promised. So I believe in, yes, rewarding yourself, quote unquote, ambia mwili pole, okay? And then number 2, think about investments, think about saving, think about the future, but also enjoy that process now. So sijifinyilie sana. Me, if I start earning $1 billion shillings, trust me, I am moving out.
So we will see signs.
Yes, there will be signs.
There will be signs. Do you know why? Because we communicate a lot without necessarily saying anything. Okay? So when people see you, first of all, ata kikuona tu hivi, they will first of all judge you, okay, based on that. And how you appear will of course form perceptions. People form perceptions about you, and that might give you opportunities or deny you opportunities.
True. I agree.
And people would want to associate with you based on how you are and how you carry yourself and how you present yourself. So if I'm start earning $1 million shillings, let me tell you, there will be signs. The earth will know. But at the same time, reward myself, but at the same time also look at the different opportunities of how
available.
I can expand more and grow more. But build my the $1 million shillings into like 5 or 10.
Exactly.
So enjoy the process.
Unajua nini? Unajua umezungumzia kuhusu hilo swala. Pia mimi kwa njia moja ama nyingine ningefanya kama vile ulivyofanya exactly tu. Lakini nimegundua kwamba kuna wengi wetu ambao tukifika wakati huu ambao tunalipwa shilingi milioni 1 kwa mwezi, tunapigwa na mshtuko na tunachanganyikiwa. Hapo ndo tunajipata tunatumia pesa vibaya. Unaanza kuona si mwezi ujao nitakuwa na pesa. Naenda nachafua meza. Kama mimi mwanamume nakuwa na madem kama 10. Kaza wangu kuwapeleka Dubai, Mombasa, Diani, Nakuru, Naivasha. Kila weekend ni kupati alafu ndio unapata wengi wetu, unapata kwa miaka mingi alikuwa analipwa pesa nyingi, alafu ghafla anafutwa, akifutwa everything inarudi chini. Inabidi aanze tena kuomba msaada, afanywe mchango kwa WhatsApp group. But cha muhimu naona ni kwamba kama hauna ufahamu wa jinsi ya kudhibiti fedha na umeanza kupata fedha nyingi kwa ghafla, itakuwa vizuri uandike mtaalamu ambaye atakusaidia kupanga mipango 100%. Ya kuweza kuzi-invest hizo pesa, kusave, kutumia. Ujipange tu vizuri, manake wengi wetu hatuna ufahamu kuhusiana na fedha. Na mara nyingi tukipata hizo pesa tunachanganyikiwa, yani hatusikii la mtu, tumeshamea pembe. Unasema nini wewe? Unaniambia nini wewe? Uelewi.
Can slap them with money.
Ama wengine because you're so used to hii pesa kidogo na umezoea kujinyima, even when you get a lot bado mtu anajinyima juu anasema imekuja like naikisha tabaki. So they hoard the money that they don't invest, they don't save, they don't do anything because umezoea quote unquote shida, so exactly, it's totally a mindset. I enjoy the process of growing.
I think also, Lucy, because now when we're going into that conversation, I think now it's important to understand how, now what you were talking about, the loans, where do we get this?
And I was going to ask that question to find out now, each one of us.
But I'm curious, if you got $1 million shillings.
All right. Okay. Hold that thought. Okay, a couple of things that I would do is, number 1, I'd invest that money in bonds. So I'd put a considerable amount in bonds, because when you buy one bond, you're paid 2 coupons. That means you're paid 2 times in a year. So if you buy 6 bonds, then you're paid 12 times in a year. And if you set it up so that every single bond comes every single month, then you essentially have a check coming in whether you work or you don't work,
so
because
like
you used your money to work for you. That's the first way that you can use your money to work for you. And then the second thing I would do is I would invest in mutual funds. And mutual funds, essentially, they help you set up a portfolio whereby you invest in a mutual fund manager. And these fund managers, they invest in stocks, bonds, shares in the international markets. So if you've ever wanted to invest in companies like Netflix, Apple and whatnot, that's a platform that you can do so, and there are so many banks that are able to provide for you that platforms, and then you will be able to earn dividend, which is paid out monthly. You can set it up to pay you monthly or biannually or once a year, or you can decide to take it as a lump sum at a certain point. So that's one other thing I would do. And then eventually the third thing I would do is invest in myself, because investing yourself, you are your biggest investment asset, right? So just figuring out how to get financial education to learn about investing in, for instance, I'm really interested in real estate as well, or, more about the financial instruments, such as those we've just talked about, bonds and mutual funds. And so that eventually, even though I would have wanted to buy maybe immediately the autobiography,
buy a yacht,
Range Rover, private yachts, private jets, private island. Before you get to that place, I think it's imperative that you grow and you set yourself up for success. So to answer the question another time that Busara mentioned in another episode, it's not wash. It's baby steps towards creating financial freedom. So as we come to a close, I'm curious to hear from each one of you, and I'd like to start with you, Busara, is how do you cushion yourself then? Because each one of us, either now, either before, or planning ahead, eventually you will come to a point where difficult times will come, and you'll find yourself in a catch-22 either. So do you find that taking a loan is the right way to go? Do you find that family is your cushion, backup that can help you during those times? Are friends there for you? Because there's some friends who sincerely they will be there for you, and in fact they'll be like, you don't have rent, come, let's stay at my place. 6 months, you just figure yourself out, and that's a blessing. So what is it that you think are the right steps, or that based upon experience, that you can utilize to be able to cushion yourself? Because many other people, not just Kenyans, all of us around the world are looking for ways to improve and better ourselves in this journey.
Unajua saa ile tulikuwa tumezungumzia swala la biashara, kama tulivyosema, njia nzuri ya kujikushon, usitegemee upande mmoja wa kupokea pesa. Kwa mfano kama umeajiriwa, sasa unapata vile Wina alikuwa yosema, si kila mtu akona hiyo damu ya biashara. Kuna wengine wetu tunataka sana lakini hatuwezi, yani sijui nini, ni shetani gani ananivuta tu nyuma. Kila nikisema nataka kuanza nashindwa, naeka pesa kabisa, nasema sasa kuanzia leo nitakuwa nafanya biashara ya kuuza madera, niuze viatu vya shanga, niuze nini. Nashindwa tu.
Viatu vya shanga ni gani?
Viatu vya shanga vile vya Masai. Yani shanga. Unajua kwa tunapenda viatu vya shanga, you're comfortable. But tunapata biashara si ya kila mtu. Lakini ukweli ni kwamba ni vizuri kutumia zile talanta ulizonazo uweze kujipatia kipato chako cha kando cha chini. Kwa mfano unapata, tuseme kama mimi ni mwanahabari, chances are najua kuvoice, kwa hivyo nitangangana nikuwe voice over artist. Najua kuandika, inamaanisha naweza kutranslate. Kuna vitu vingi sana mtandaoni vya kutranslate. Una translate either kutoka English to Kiswahili ama Swahili to English, ama kama umebahatika unajua lugha zingine kama Kifaransa, Kijerumani, utakuwa translator mzuri sana. Na pia kuna kitu kingine, unaweza kuwa voice. Let's say kuna vyombo vya habari vingine vya kimataifa inataka sauti ya mtu kufanya documentaries and stuff. Hizi ni media houses ama film houses, sijui. Kuna vitu production houses wanatakanga sauti. Kuna hivi vipindi vya Kihindi ambavyo vinafaa vigeuze Kiswahili. Kuna vipindi hata ukiangalia sasa katika local stations zetu utapata ni wazungu kabisa lakini wanaongea Kiswahili. So inamaanisha kuna watu ambao wamefanya hiyo voice over, wameact. So kuna kazi za kando ambazo unaweza fanya kulingana na ile talanta yako ambayo upo. Kulingana na ile kazi ambayo, maana pia kuna wale wa benki, kuna zile side hustles unaweza fanya. Unaweza saidia watu kwa njia moja ama nyingine uweze kupata pesa yako. Kama ni upande wa biashara, kuna vitu unaweza fanya. Yaani kuna vitu tofauti ambavyo unaweza kufanya kulingana na ile line ya kazi ambayo upo, kuweza kujipatia kipato cha kando. Lakini kwa mfano umeshindwa kabisa na hicho kipato cha kando, kama vile wewe alisema, ni ama Lucy samani. Ni vizuri kutafuta mtu ambaye unajua atakusaidia wakati ambao kumedhoka, kimekuramba. Sasa unapata kama mimi kama Busara, mimi najua nitarudi tu kwa wazazi wangu ambao niwaambie sasa sikizeni. Kuna vile sina rent, kazi hatujalipwa. It has refused. Ama familia yangu najua kwamba a few of them watasema acha tutakusaidia hapa na pale, ama mtu atakwambia njoo kai kwangu ukijipanga, ama leta mtoto wako nikushikilia hapa na hapo ukijipanga. Unajua hujui kuna vitu kadhaa ambazo, kwa hivyo ni vizuri kutafuta wale watu ambao unajua kwamba utakimbilia kwao mambo yatakapoharibika, na unaweka ule uhusiano mzuri. Ule ambao wakiwa na shida upo, ndio pia Yesu kwamba utakuwa na shida watakuwa. Kwa hivyo naona pia vile ulivyosema ni vizuri kutafuta aidha marafiki ama familia ili waweze kusaidia mambo yanapokuwa mabaya.
You know, when Busara mentioned about investing in yourself, like when she's mentioning about, let's say, voicing, one way of investing, for instance, if you're a voiceover artist, you don't have to wait to go to studio.
No.
As simple as buying a microphone. Let's say you have that 1 million Kenya shillings, or even 50,000. There are equipment that we can use in our own spaces back at home. If it's a good laptop, a microphone, you can voice and throw it out there, send it to people. That is one way of investing in yourself.
100%. Yeah.
You know, not being able to rely on someone else or anything else. If you are alone in your house, what can you do with what you have as a talent? So one way Busara is saying, for example, Busara, you already have a microphone, for instance, you have your own laptop as a voiceover artist. Are you already doing something towards an investment in that?
Swala la branding. Manake unajua samahani, acha niweke microphone karibu. Umezungumzia swala la investing in yourself. Nakumbuka pia sisi kama wanahabari, kama wasomaji wa taarifa, tunaambiwa kila wakati invest in yourself. Manake unapojenga jina lako, ukienda katika ile kampuni utalipwa kiasi cha juu cha pesa. Manake watu wengi wanafikiria wanahabari wote tunalipwa kiasi sawa. Ukweli ni kwamba leo hii nikiitwa mahali na yale majina makubwa ambayo yamebebea katika wanahabari wakienda mahali, nikifika wakati wa kutetea mshahara utapata kwa sababu sina jina nitapewa tu mashilingi. Alafu wale ambao wako na majina wamejibrand, yani brand yake inazungumza, si lazima azungumze. Akifika tu hivi brand yake inazungumza, utapata wanapewa manoti, alafu wewe wapewa mashilingi. Kwa hivyo unaweza zungumzia ile swala la branding.
So also what you've said, just trying. Also, most of us are very lazy when it comes to social media and so one way of investing, plus myself, if you put yourself out there, how can we do that? And I believe that's one thing we've talked about amongst ourselves. Investing in yourself is putting yourself out there and being able to let people know what you're made of, what you're capable of. And I believe that's one thing that we should all work on this 2025.
Absolutely.
Another way of investing in yourself is just putting effort, consistency in what you do, and keeping at it over and over again. And lastly, because I think we are shying away from talking about taking loans. Loans is not a bad thing. We should let people know. Taking a loan is not a bad thing. But understanding why you're taking that loan and how you intend to use that loan to bring back what you want and pay back the loan. When you're paying back a loan, you should not be able to pay everything that you've gotten. When you're taking a loan, it means you're taking a loan to multiply it, so that when you're paying back, you're remaining with something. So we should learn from that, and also understanding the power of I don't know how to put it. When you're trying to increase your credit limits and what have you, credit score. In financial terms, I believe it's a good thing. Especially if you've mastered the art of handling your finances in the right way.
I see that. Yes. I mean, and we talked about how important it is to use your talent. Because not everybody again is business savvy. There are some of us, when you start thinking about business, unachoka tu akili. Not because you're lazy. It's not your, it's not your thing at all. So yes, identify something that you can do effortlessly, but it will still give you money. Say for example, we're journalists. So for me, see gigs like MC.
Yeah.
I enjoy MCing a lot. So if I can do that, which I do, by the way, if you're looking for an MC, hi. So I do MCs, voiceovers, like you know, you talked about Busara, and you find that brings you, money here, money there. Sometimes you're also called to speak to students, as well. You earn something, out of the same. So find opportunities that you can earn money without necessarily going out of your space, and then it stresses you out, and then unaifunga almost immediately. You also talked about loans as well. I don't think loans are a bad thing. If anything, it builds your credit score. But the thing is, what are you taking the loans for? If you're taking a loan to take a girl out, clearly,
to go and have a
wedding,
That's
so don't shy away from loans, but just figure out why are you taking that loan, and also figure out how you're going to pay the loan to also build your credit score, because usipolipa tena inakurudisha chini.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'd say.
I really love this conversation we've had, and it's unfortunate that we now have to come to a round. But thank you so much. If you've stayed this long watching this episode, let us know what your views and comments and thoughts are about this topic. Also, let us know, how are you spending your money? What are you doing to invest, to grow yourself, to build your skills, to create multiple streams of incomes, to cushion yourself? It's a conversation that we need to continue having and normalize it, because at the end of the day, we are living in an economic planet. So at the end of the day, these are things that we need to face the reality of, right? So once again, thank you so much to our partners. One of them is Bitnaware KD. They have given us this amazing look. I mean, we look fantastic,
We
fabulous.
look like money.
Yes, we do, right? True. Yeah, absolutely. And is there anybody else we'd like to thank? Of course, the team and the crew that has helped put this
And the
together.
location as well, where we are at.
Also, and the location, as you were saying, definitely people always look for Airbnbs for one reason or another. And they have a meeting in town, especially people who are around Nairobi area, CBD. We are at Lake Cannon Apartments in Gara Fig Tree. If you're very interested or looking for Airbnb anytime, several units are available. We'll tag them down below, put their number, the houses, call them.
Reach out to them.
Reach out and you get yourself some beautiful space.
Awesome.
Will host you.
Yes, love that. So once again, this is straight from the source.
It's definitely saucy, as we
Make sure
always
to follow us
say.
on our social media platforms.
Yes.
Instagram, Facebook, X,
TikTok.
everywhere.
Yes.
Thank you, and till next time.
Bye-bye.